What up, fam? Welcome to Skilltree, where we learn how to do just about everything. Okay, so you know that scene in A New Hope when Obi-Wan's all like, "These aren't the droids you're looking for." And the Stormtrooper's like, "These aren't the droids we're looking for." Of course you know this scene. Everybody knows this scene. And guys, I want to do that. As soon as I saw that scene, I was like, yup, that being a Jedi, that's for me. Then the world went ahead and broke my little heart by telling me that it was, in fact, fiction. And that I'll never be a pirate ninja. Well, in the immortal words of Adam Savage, I reject your reality and I substitute my own. So to that end, here are 4 things you can do to achieve that Jedi Mind Trick and get people to do what you want them to do. Let's level up this skill. Eye contact. Now they say that the eyes are the window to the soul, so I'm gonna need you to grab like a rock or a brick or something because we're breaking in today. Now using solid eye contact is one of those little pieces of advice everybody gives you when you're first kind of striking out into the adult world. Before your first job interview, someone probably pulled you aside and was like, make sure you have a firm handshake and solid eye contact as you introduce yourself. All of which are useful ways to get somebody to trust you and to be on your side. But there's some evidence that gazing into somebody's eyes has like a sneaky superpower as well. So have you ever been out and about in the world and then you make eye contact with somebody from across the room and it's like everything just kind of stops. You lose track of everything else that's happening and in that instant, it's just you and them. I know I just set the scene for like a cheesy romantic flip, but hear me out. Whether you're interested in them in that special way that we'll talk about when you're a little bit older or not is irrelevant. The fact is, locking eyes with somebody can be really disruptive. This isn't your imagination or your crippling social anxiety taking hold. This is a bit of unintentional mind control. Allow me to explain. Recent research has shown that the flurry of activity that takes place in your brain when you lock gaze with somebody can actually have a negative effect on your cognitive abilities. Mental tasks like concentration, the ability to think through complex problems, and the use of imagination all seem to fall by the wayside when your brain realizes that it's being judged by another sentient creature from across the way. All of which are skills that our Stormtrooper friend could use to construct a compelling argument as to why these could, in fact, be the droids he's looking for. As an interesting kind of side experiment with this, try this. Try making eye contact with random people out in the world you pass by. Now, I started doing this in researching something else I was going to do for this channel about confidence, but I quickly found that aside from boosting confidence, which it actually does, it makes me feel like a total freaking Jedi. So because of that kind of mental storm I told you about, most people are actually really uncomfortable with meeting somebody else's gaze. As such, as I'm walking through with just a look, I was able to get people to move out of my path. In approaching a door, I'm able to like lock eye contact with somebody, look at the door, look back at them, they open the door for me. It's like mind control. Honestly, it's actually pretty cool. Try it. In your hands. So we learn how to communicate our wants and our feelings with our hands way before we learn how to communicate them with words. Picture like a baby or a small child making grabby hands at something they want or pointing at something. Some of us never grow out of that. Yeah, your hands are capable of expressing everything from confidence to sadness to anger to complex philosophical thoughts. Those of you who actually speak sign language, let me know if I got that last one right. I tried. Now, knowing the expressive power of our meat hooks, we can use this information to literally gain the upper hand on our interlocutors. That phrase, as a matter of fact, having the upper hand, actually comes from the power dynamic that happens when you actually clasp hands with somebody. So when you shake hands, the person who has their hands mostly on top is considered having the upper hand. In body language terms, that person is dominating the interaction at that point. And you'll see politicians try to do this all the time. Whenever they stop and pause for these photo ops, you'll notice that one of them is always trying to kind of tilt their hand so that their palm is facing down, giving them the upper hand. In fact, there's this whole dynamic in which the person who's usually on the left side when they're taking photographs, because of the position you're going to be in, you're kind of forcing that. You're forcing yourself to have the upper hand, and it's a really good power pose for things that are going to be seen by the masses in the newspaper tomorrow. In fact, at any time, the position of your palms sends really strong nonverbal cues to the people around you. Palms down often express authority and power. Palms up, on the other hand, openness and honesty. Hiding your hands altogether is a sure sign that you're not feeling confident or safe at that time. It also can be construed as a sign that you're trying to hide something. So in our case, these aren't the droids you're looking for, could show honesty. I have got my palms up, I'm giving you this information. These aren't the droids you're looking for. Or perhaps we should go with the palm down and be authoritative about that. These aren't the droids you're looking for. See the difference in the feeling there? This one, I'm very kind of pleading with you. I'm showing you, hey, I'm not hiding anything. These aren't the droids you're looking for. Whereas in this one, I am telling you, these aren't the freaking droids you're looking for. Feels different when I'm doing it. Mirroring and signaling. In the early 90s, while I was watching Saved by the Bell and being obsessed with Jurassic Park, a group of scientists were stumbling upon an interesting phenomenon. They were trying to ascertain which specific neurons were in control of hand and mouth functions. To do this, they'd let a macaque pick up some food and figure out what was firing at the time. Interesting bit was when the macaque watched the scientist grab food, the same neurons fired as did when it was grabbing the food. Dubbed mirror neurons, these are the reasons why you'll see friends or couples often adopting similar positions or walking together in lockstep. As you feel more connected to somebody or more empathetic to them or a thing that they're doing, your brain fires as if you were doing it yourself, and it makes you closer to that person. Incidentally, these mirror neurons are also why yawning and laughter are contagious. And because we evolved to be social animals for survival, this is hardwired into us. Now, since anything that's hardwired can be hotwired, let's use this product of social evolution to our advantage. So let's say there's a certain somebody you are trying to convince. By subtly adopting this person's position, posture, their actions, you're signaling to their subconscious that the two of you are similar and thus worthy of their trust. In short, they begin to empathize with you. To add a nefarious twist to this whole thing, once that synchronicity is reached, you can then start to feed subtle ideas and feelings to them using body signaling. A good example of signaling is like subtly nodding your head when you like something or shaking your head when you don't like something. For example, once I'm done filming, why don't we go out for pizza or a sushi? So by nodding slightly when I said pizza and shaking my head a little bit when I said sushi, I am subtly telling you what my preference is. And we do this subconsciously all the time. When somebody's saying a list of options, we tend to have a little micro smile on the things that we definitely like to hear, or a little frown on the things we don't want to hear. We might fidget a certain way or seem uncomfortable when certain information comes to us and seem more open to it when things we like to hear come our way. And subconsciously at least, the people around us or close to us tend to pick up on those vibes. Now, having used some mirroring to form an empathetic bond with our stormtrooper, we can make our feelings seem like they were his feelings the whole time. He's gonna be all like, why am I even stopping these guys? These are clearly not the droids I'm looking for. Use the Thu'um. In Elder Scrolls Skyrim, you as the Dovahkiin have the ability to use your Thu'um, which is the power of your voice to shape reality around you. And I am positive it actually works, because Bethesda's managed to make me buy that game like 4 times. That has to be magic, right? Regardless, this really isn't pure fantasy. You are able to reliably affect the actions of others depending on the tone and the volume of your voice. Because I'm lazy, and this will prove my point better than I ever could, check out this little clip from a Nat Geo documentary I found.
He's going to use a soft and high tone of voice. Let's see if anyone obeys his orders.
Get out of my box! 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 Where is my box?
Now he's going to adopt an alpha chimp's voice. Low in tone and loud in volume.
Get out of my box! Get out of my box!
Suddenly, everyone is going out of their way to avoid trespassing on the alpha chimp's territory.
Get out of my box! Get out of my box!
No one stops to think why. They're just instinctively doing what he says.
I love this example. By changing just the tone of his voice and kind of the strength of his resolve a little bit, he was able to split that oncoming horde to his will. Whereas the group of 4 completely disregarded what he had to say. Some of them were downright rude. This goes to show you that, well, what you say absolutely is important. How you say it might be the factor that gets people to actually listen to you. Alright, so let's put all this together now. The stormtrooper stops us. First, I use the power of my gaze to cloud his mind. Then, showing my palms, I plant the seed of openness and trust, and I strengthen our bond by matching his body posture, and begin signaling that he doesn't have to search us. Finally, using the power of my voice, I say, these aren't the droids you're looking for. Will that work? Damned if I know, but do me a favor. Look right here. If you like what you saw, hit that thumbs up button. Also hit that subscribe so you know when I release new content. Finally, if you want to see me cover any other skills, add it to the comments below and I will add it to the list. Well, I better be going. I'm meeting a couple of friends of mine at a local wretched hive of scum and villainy. In the meantime, Keep leveling up, you.